In my quest to share inspiration as to whether you should venture into coffee farming, Mr. Njeru shares more farming insight on what we call the coffee mathematics. He explains how much yield you're going to get from one coffee stem. He shares more farming insight on the do's and don'ts in your coffee farming journey. And most importantly, he explains how you are going to transform your farm from 2 kg per stem to about 15 and 20 kilos per stem.
There is no short-term thinking. There will be days you'll be feeling like you just put your money on a ditch. There will be days where you feel like this ain't it, but this is the job. This is where you've got to be very persistent, very passionate, have that dream and make it happen.
Okay. And if you're a coffee farmer or an aspiring coffee farmer, do watch our previous video where Mr. Njeru shares hands-on, practical and professional coffee farming practices that will guarantee you high yields at the end of the coffee harvesting season. Remember, at Farm Focus Africa, we are your partners in sharing information and knowledge that is aimed at boosting your farming confidence that will enable you to start your farming journey today. Do not forget to like, share, subscribe, comment, and most importantly, watch and learn from our videos.
So you had mentioned about being able, actually on our first conversation you mentioned on if you're starting coffee farming right now, it's more economical to lease already planted trees. Explain that math again.
Yeah, so leasing coffee, for example, let's assume you raise 200 stems, 2,000 stems. You can lease them at 2,000 stems of revenue. Here in Kirinyaga, you lease at about 100 shillings per stem. So per year. So, well, you can be able to transform revenue to become very productive. You can turn it to 20 kilo a stem, so especially mature coffee. You can be able to turn it to 20 kilo a stem by just doing the right things, adding fertilizer, controlling pests and diseases, from nutrition perspective, and doing soil testing, just knowing what is not there, what is there. And in like 2 years, you can be able to start getting your money back. That's it. That's an easy way for young people to come in and invest in coffee, because there's so many farms, people not making a profit. But if you come and you just do professional farming, you can transform a farm to a very high production. So and when you think about the mathematics of the coffee, you see, like a small piece like this, it can give you from 600, maybe 600,000 to even as much as 2-point-something million. So how you do that is you have like 500 stems right now. So right now we can only average maybe 8 kilos a stem maximum. 8 kilos a stem, and let's assume maximum we get about 150 shillings per kilo of cherry. That would give you about 600,000. But by next year but one, because this is not optimal, because these are very young coffee. By the time this coffee is like year 5, year 6, you can be able to get up to 30 kilos a stem. And 30 kilos a stem, you just have an acre, you're averaging north of 2 million. Right?
Per harvest.
Yeah, per harvest, per year. So you can make 2 million from just half an acre. But you need almost near perfect conditions to be able to get that high. We are married.
Okay.
I think coffee is very profitable. Even as a country, I think we need to increase production per stem. Yeah, we need to increase production per stem. Large-scale farmers in Kiambu average 8 to 10 kilos a stem. Small-scale farmers in Nyeri and Kirinyaga still averaging 4 kilos a stem and 3 kilos a stem. It needs to be higher, right? And I think as a country, if we're able to average 10 to 20 and 30 kilos a stem, we're going to make very many agricultural millionaires. I think it will bring more right to how much people can be able to make from farming. And we have more youths going to farming, because currently about 60% of coffee farmers are old farmers. So we need a new generation of young, serious coffee farmers getting into this business, young people knowing how to prune, young people knowing how to maintain a coffee farm. Thank you.
So what usually determines the coast market, the coffee market?
Well, coffee market basically is global prices, is influenced by global factors. People think maybe it's just the president who sets a price, or maybe this regime, that regime, maybe yes, maybe not, but they are global factors, because Kenya is just a small coffee, is a tiny coffee producer. We produce less coffee than Ethiopia, than Uganda, than Brazil, Colombia. We're just a tiny drop. So what happens in Brazil and Colombia and other bigger countries in terms of coffee production really has a direct impact in how coffee is bought in Kenya. And coffee is bought in Kenya through auction. So it depends. So it depends also on the quality of coffee, the cup quality of coffee, and how much it now trades in the global market. So, and we've had some very astronomical highs and average lows. So basically, if we're able to increase production per kilo and also produce high quality coffee, a bigger chunk of AA and AB, then I think we make a lot of progress even as a country in terms of coffee farming, and also how much returns the farmers get. Because I think if everybody, for example, in Kirinyaga having an acre gets home $1 million or $2 million and you're still in the village, that's really good money. So you can be able to afford school fee, you can be able to afford food for your family, you can be able to live a decent life. And I think that is probably what Pesa Mfukoni is all about, or was supposed to be.
Now, how about in other regions in the country? Because I come from a region where coffee is not performing well. What also determines?
Yeah, I think I've got a huge following of people from Kisii, from Rift Valley, Eldoret, who call me almost all the time, asking about coffee farming in those regions. And
why is it that our coffee sells low in Rift Valley, and here you're selling at very high prices? Who can we contact?
No. Okay, first of all, you need to understand that the coffee factories around, the way coffee is sold in Kirinyaga is a bit different from Eldoret, because here we can be factories, and we have factories, cooperative factories that have got good management and that has been doing this for a very long time, so they know how best to really do it very well. So if you look at Rift Valley, farmers are making their own coffee. They're doing managing most of the practices post-harvest on themselves, and that is a whole different kind of practice. Again, the knowledge, the Kirinyaga people, maybe in the last 10 years, coffee has been over 100 shillings. So people are focused on it, and it's one of the best ways for them to make a living. So in terms of quality also that is being produced is all different. I'm not saying you cannot be able to produce. You can be able to produce good quality coffee in Kisii, in those other counties. And for just to put it in perspective, people are planting a lot of coffee there. Like most of the seedlings and nurseries that we have here, most of the buyers are coming from those countries. And you see, even as a country, like in 2026, we're not the high in terms of the land mass that has coffee, is still way below what it was in the 80s. So we still not planted enough, right? So we still need Rift Valley back to coffee. We still need Western back to coffee, and as a country, we can be able to produce more. And maybe what we also lack is, can we be able to do value addition around coffee? Maybe if we're able to get more young people into coffee, thinking about global markets and also value addition around coffee, and making businesses and business models around value additions around coffee would be such a great addition.
Okay. Yeah. So are you doing any value addition yourself with the 10 acres?
Yeah.
You're doing 8 acres, eh?
Well, value addition also comes with its own constraints. For example, if you do the complete 2 of 2 of coffee, right? That is complete milling and grading of coffee. It's also susceptible to thieves. It becomes a very premium product. You see, one of the biggest problem in coffee farming, even in this region, is the stealing of
cherries. Yeah.
You can imagine the stealing of green coffee. Yeah, you almost need a gun to guard green coffee. So it becomes like gold, and again, that is quite a problem. If people know that you are housing green coffee in a certain house, you're gonna be in big trouble.
Okay. So what about probably government initiative? Is there a way that maybe we can come together as coffee farmers, talk about asking probably the government to come help set up milling?
Okay. Yeah. You see, for the milling, you see, there are factories. You see, the factories don't actually do the milling. They do the pulping. The pulping, then they are mirrors, and then the mirrors sell in the auction, right? So, I mean, it's hard to argue that the government has not done enough. It has done enough, and you can. There is also the direct sale. You can directly sell your coffee, right?
In a global market.
Yes,
How
you can. There's a provision for direct sale of coffee, so you don't have to just go through cooperative, and you can get licenses as an individual and go through direct sale. And that's very well governed. So, but the problem of thieves is a different problem, because even cherry, just like it is right now, we can live here and then thieves come and then they pick it.
They pick.
Yes. So you can process it and then they come and steal. They steal even from factories. And you know, factories, the whole community is guarding a factory. Like, as an individual, and people have guts go and steal from a factory that is actually really guarded by the community, because it's a community effort, kind of an initiative. So you can imagine, as a sole person.
Yeah.
For example, if I told you where I'm storing my green coffee, I mean, like, you become a target, right?
Yeah, sure. You'll definitely become a huge target.
Yeah.
Okay. So to sum this up, what would you tell that young person who's toying around the idea of trying coffee farming?
Yeah, I mean, like, I hope that young person wants to do it for the next 15, 20 years. I hope the next young person wants to do it beyond pulping, to go to milling, to grading, to setting franchises around coffee, to selling it abroad, making a brand out of it. So I hope the next young person is not looking for a quick return of investment. I mean, like, you put a lot of money in the initial 1 or 2 years. Maybe you sacrifice buying a GRE or something, so that you just invest in farming. Well, the truth and the biggest encouragement for that young person is that if you're here for a project of like 10, 15, 20, 30 years, is the best investment you can do, because it guarantees you probably very solid income post you 3-4 years. If you can be able to survive 4 years, you'll be here for the long haul, and you'll make a lot of money. You can become very rich from this coffee business.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it is not a quick money
this
scheme.
Is not,
You'll have to be patient.
Yeah. This is not government sports or money market or something like that. This is get money out of rand. It's not for the weak, but I believe there is an opportunity here. There is an opportunity to be able to do a lot. there's an opportunity for young people to do validation. There's opportunity for young people to do better marketing. Kenya coffee is respected globally. The Kenya AA coffee, yeah, the premium grade, is very much respected globally, even outside Kenya, in many other countries, and it sells. So we just need more people coming into these, and you don't have just to make money in a white collar job in Nairobi. You can come here and make money along the chain. Yeah.
Twice you have mentioned AA coffee. What is AA coffee?
AA is a grade, and this grade is based on the size of the bean size. So there are many grades. So AA is one of them. There is AB, there is PB. Yeah, it's the quality coffee, right? The quality. Like my coffee might not be the same bean size with maybe my neighbor's coffee, and it also has a lot to do with nutrition, variety, maybe attitude as well. We are close to Mount Kenya, yeah, and also maybe and things like that. There are other factors also that determines quality beyond the bean size. There's the cup quality and aroma, the whole profile of the coffee generally. Yes.
So we are at a different farm. It's looking much smaller with smaller trees. They are not as tall. They are like a meter, Ama?
Yeah, or a meter and a half.
A meter and a half. So what size of land is this? And how many coffee trees do you have here?
Thank you. So here we have 500 stems, just 500 stems, and all for 70 thereabout. Yeah, for 7,500.
For 7,500. It's half an acre, an acre?
Yeah, half an acre, just a little bit, at small points, more than half an acre.
More than half an acre.
Yeah.
Is this spacing the one you're talking about, the ideal spacing?
Well, this is ideal spacing, but this is not 6 by 6.
This is what
this
by
is
what?
6 by 7.
6 by 7?
Yes.
So it means a person who's planting 6 by 6 would have planted more.
Yes. They would have planted more. But now again, even 6 by 7 is probably not ideal. You could probably do 7 by 8 or 7 by 8. But again, we're just doing single stem. So, and you can see there is good spacing in between. Yeah.
What is single stem and what other type of stemming is there?
You can do 2 stem where people just bend a young suckers and then it sprouts another stem. So instead of having, for example, 1 stem here, you have 2 stems, just this size.
Oh.
Yeah.
You can plant 2 stems in one?
No. It's like if you plant 2, you just plant 1, then you bend it. Maybe you bend it when it's about 1 year or less than 1 year. Then it sprouts another stem. So you have 2 stems.
Oh. 2 stems on one.
Oh, yeah, 2 stems on one.
On one stem again. Okay.
Yeah.
So what are we projecting as revenue from this size of land?
Yeah, from this small piece of land, we let's assume we got 8 kilos on average, 8 kilos, and then we have 500. Then also maybe assume that we get about 150 per kilo for chili. That gives you around 600,000, right?
Okay.
600,000 would be good return on year 3. So maybe next year we'll target to average 10 kilos a stem, or even 12 kilos a stem. We believe we can be able to double it because you see, as this stem grows and grows taller, all these places becomes they also start to produce, and then it starts to produce other secondaries. Like this is just a primary. So these are primary, right?
Okay.
So you can see we don't have many secondaries here, and then secondaries come, and we're good to go. Yes.
What would you say are the mistakes that most coffee farmers make, which lead to low production?
Well, mistakes. I think there are so many. For example, not pruning in time, and not pruning in time contributes a lot, significantly a lot. And then not being able to anticipate and control pests and diseases. For example, there are pests that can take about 30% of your crop. And also, for example, in SL variety, if you're not able to control leaf rust and coffee berry disease, that also takes about another 30 or 40% of your crop. So inability to be able to do these practices are for example, pruning has a correlation to CBD, for example, coffee berry disease. So, and also it also affects how flowering happens in your farm. So generally the coffee plant bears out of being exposed to sunlight or to sun. So, and then when it rains, it just flowers. So if it is so vegetative, right? If you don't prune in time, so it doesn't flower very well. Again, maybe people also don't know that you can be able to induce flowering using some hormones, zinc and boron, and a combination of all that. There's also a science around how flowering happens. Other than that, also, so you need also to be able to, yes, even when you get a flowering, you need to be able to maintain that flowering. So you need to be able to feed your crop based on the kind of flowering that has happened. For example, if you're expecting 30 kilos a stem, you're not going to use the same fertilizer like the one expecting 2 kilos a stem. So you need to know that you will need a lot more fertilizer, for example, per stem. If you're expecting 30 kilos, if you're expecting 10 kilos, and if you're expecting 2 kilos, they cannot be the same. Yeah, it cannot be a textbook same dose. Yeah.
So coffee feeding basically means how much fertilizer you are applying.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It practically depends on how much you're expecting generally. So maybe let's give a kind of a number, but again, I insist it is based on the expected coffee yield, because for you to produce about maybe 10 kilos a stem, you need like 400 grams of CAN and about another 300 or 400 grams of NPK staggered. Staggered means like you are applying, not applying maybe the 400 at the same time. So you're applying like 200 grams, another 200 grams, another 200 or 150 grams of CAN, and probably another 150 grams of CAN. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So when you're talking about how much coffee I'm expecting, so is it me who decides how much coffee I'm expecting, or it is the crop that tells me that it is going to produce more?
Yeah, you can be able to see how the flowering, you can tell from the flowering, but also the flowering is also dependent on what's around the soil, right? So if you do a soil analysis for the coffee to be able to, the soil needs to be able to support a certain kilos. So it needs, for example, potassium, nitrogen, and also the micronutrients that are required to be able to support the kilos. Yeah.
Okay. So when a farmer ignores pruning, a farmer ignores adding fertilizer, we definitely expect very poor yield.
Yes. Generally, it's a direct correlation to how much you put in, right? So, and the correlation goes very high. So if you put, if you're spending, for example, 200 shillings per stem, you can expect to yield the same with someone spending like 800 shillings per stem in terms of feeding. So how much you feed is directly correlated to how much you get as harvest.
Okay. So if in the event that I have just had my first harvest and my my production is low, my yield is low, what am I supposed to check for? What questions am I supposed to be asking myself so that in the next season I don't experience still low yields?
So the number of things that you probably need to change, we need to really you need to check how much you put in, right? How much you put in terms of fertilizer, manure, how well you pruned, when did you prune, pests and diseases, yeah, so how well you controlled them, right? Those are the main factors that really affect how much you get.
I'm looking at some trees here. One tree is having really many berries,
Yes.
and another one, it looks like all the berries are fallen off. What is the difference?
Well. One, first of all, it also depends with how much fruit it was carrying last year. Okay, how much fruit it was carrying last year, and then yeah, there's just many factors. For example, as you can see, for example, this one, it has just very small pinheads. These are called pinheads. They're very small. But well, this one, it has got fully filled berries. It's still filling. It's still gonna grow bigger. This is a red crop. This one will be half red crop. Yeah. So this one will be red crop. So it's not filled enough. You might think it's not there, but it's there actually. It's only that these pinheads forming. Yeah, and it takes time for them to become big and more visible.
Okay.
Yeah.